hands together to make Nigeria a productive and prosperous nation.
National Productivity Center, promoting productivity in our nation.
Music is fuel that fires up our soul. Today, African music has a dominant place on the world map. This massive music movement creating waves across the globe.
I have seen the evolution and the growth of this industry.
But every movement starts with a story, and the best place to start any story is at the very beginning.
It's a hormonal energy that can only have come from Africa.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Entel 4G. Entel. Live more.
To raise awareness of the dangers of illegal bushmeat and to promote alternatives. Nigeria can go from crisis to becoming a leader in conservation.
So let's do the right thing.
Tell your families and friends to say no to illegal bushmeat.
Keep them wild, keep them wild.
Keep them wild, keep us safe. And keep us safe.
If the storm turtle is a mustard seed, then nurture it, water it, grow it into that tree in your rainforest.
And she already stands in front of it and asks me to take a picture.
One of the prevalent social issues in our society.
There are certain things you take that is good for you, at the same time there's a bad side.
Yeah. What is it that you want to leave us with today?
Our reality with Sky, 10:30 a.m. every Monday, and it repeats at 12 midnight.
A very good evening to you. We are glad to have you join us for another 1.5 hours of news from different parts of the country and beyond. Stories for tonight are treated with the extra touch to give you all perspectives of happenings and unfolding events. We begin with stories making the rounds in Daura, from the visit of the APC national chairman to the president, now to that of the president visiting the Emir of Daura. From captivating reports on population count, we will take you to concerns shown by privileged individuals to the less privileged in the spirit of Salah. We also have reports on peace-building initiatives, especially for credible conduct of Osun election, as well as the mood of a family in Kaduna that reunites with one of their own after being kidnapped. New petroleum pump price pumps up as Nigeria tightens loose ends amidst global economic crisis. We have all the details and you wouldn't want to miss any of them if you stay with us. We also have stories on vehicle number plates to improve security, which is also on the front burner tonight. COVID-19 resurgence and sustenance of vaccination to combat the pandemic and other health stories are equally part of News Extra Menu tonight. These are just tip of the iceberg on tonight's outlook. So relax for the complete package as the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umaruba and this is News Extra. We welcome you all. Don't forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website ntu.ng/live and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, is assuring the nation's Christian community agitated by the Muslim presidential ticket of the party that they have absolutely nothing to worry about as the interest of everyone will be protected. The chairman gave the assurance while addressing journalists in Daura, Kaduna State after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The APC national chairman was in Daura alongside other members of the National Working Committee of the party to pay traditional Salah homage to President Muhammadu Buhari. During the visit, however, national issues as well as those of the governing party were discussed behind closed doors, including the forthcoming Osun governorship election slated for Saturday this week.
By the grace of God, we will win. Write it, take it home, sleep over it today, and Saturday, come back and say, Abdullah Adamu, you are the son of your father.
The chairman told NTA News that
no doubt about it. But the fact of the matter is, we are as practical as we can in this situation, and we do hope that people will see reason. Nobody is wanting to promote Christianity or Muslim ticket necessarily, but we have to face the reality of our politics in the country, and that's what exactly we are doing.
So they have nothing to fear, and
absolutely nothing to fear. Shetima is another Nigerian like me and you, and yes, we don't all have to be Muslims or all have to be Christians. It is the will of God that this time around he's going to be the vice president of a great country if we win the election, and we do hope and pray.
Made the right choice.
Education Shetima, a former governor and a serving senator, and a very intelligent and brilliant person, has all the qualities to be the vice president. So I fully support his nomination. He is very qualified, so I'm pleased with his nomination.
So as a critical stakeholder of the governing APC, what can I assure Christians who are now agitated over the Muslim ticket?
I think what is most important is good leadership. A just and fair leader, wherever he comes from. It's better to have a good Christian than a bad Muslim. Likewise, it's better to have a good Muslim than a bad Christian. So it's about the persons, not his religion, really. I know there is some perception out there, but I think as important as perception is, let us understand the realities of the people. When they say a particular person will do this, let us examine the person, his antecedents.
The people of Kaduna, he promised, will stand to be counted towards ensuring that APC retains power in 2023. From Daura, Kaduna State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Emir of Daura, Umar Faruk Umar, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to continue to be patient, tolerant and focused on his genuine efforts at achieving a greater Nigeria. The Emir, who received the Nigerian leader at his palace, assured that posterity will judge him right. State House correspondent Adam Sambo again reports.
It was a befitting royal reception for President Muhammadu Buhari on arrival at the Emir's palace in the heart of Daura. All the district heads and other traditional title holders of the emirate, as well as council chairmen, took turns to pay homage on the Nigerian leader, Governor Aminu Bello Masari and Emir Umar Faruk Umar. For the royalty, as the Emir explained, this is a remarkable demonstration of honor, respect and appreciation to the president. He said Daurawa and most importantly, Nigerians have every reason to rejoice and be grateful to the president, whom he described as honest, sincere, selfless, and highly patriotic. The monarch takes pride in the fact that President Buhari's worthy legacies abound in all parts of the country and in critical economic sectors for posterity. He asks the president not to be deterred by criticisms from detractors, assuring him that Allah will reward him abundantly for the sacrifices he continues to make for the sake of Nigeria and Nigerians. Governor Aminu Bello Masari also spoke in the same vein, saying President Buhari not only lived up to expectations but above board in the discharge of his mandate. He said in the history of the country, no administration can be compared with the Buhari presidency in the provision of critical infrastructure, food, as well as social security for those in need. President Buhari thanks the Emir and indeed members of the Emirate for the show of solidarity and continued support, assuring them that they will henceforth be seeing him more often before he finally relocates to the community after his tenure. The last lap of his administration, he however promised, will be eventful, impactful, and more decisive in addressing genuine public concerns. He however made a strong case for parents and guardians to ensure that their children and wards are properly educated, saying, despite the lack of white-collar jobs, no one regrets being educated. During the visit, special prayers were offered to Allah for national unity and stability, as well as guidance and protection of the president as he continues to dismantle obstacles to sustainable future of the country. From Daura, Kaduna State, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In another story, President Muhammadu Buhari this Wednesday formally presented himself and his household in Daura to enumerators of the National Population Commission as part of the ongoing dress rehearsal for the forthcoming national head count. The president, who received the team led by the chairman of the commission, Nasir Issaquara, tasked them to justify the confidence of the government by returning verifiable and accurate data. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has the report.
It's the official commencement of the trial census in Daura with the house numbering and the household listing exercise. Daura is one of the 6 local government areas selected in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country to be fully covered, and President Muhammadu Buhari is the first to present himself to the enumerators as his household is designated number 1. The Nigerian leader provided the required information to the NPC officials during the exercise after the national chairman explained to him the modalities and technicalities involved.
This is to showcase to Nigerians that it is an important exercise and everybody should embrace it throughout the country. We are doing this census for Nigeria and Nigerians. We are not doing it for Mr. President, but Mr. President is giving us the support to do this because Nigeria has stayed for a long time without accurate population and housing census data. So we are happy Mr. President has been given this support, and we urge all Nigerians to give the support to the Commission and its functionaries whenever they come calling to be able to get the data that will analyze and prepare for national planning for the development of this country.
The dress rehearsal, the chairman explained, is to test their instruments and methodologies as well as the capability and ability of the functionaries in accessing hard-to-reach areas for the actual national head count.
This will be able to test the
Meanwhile, Kaduna State Office of the National Population Commission says it has completed all arrangements for a successful conduct of trial census in Daura to achieve the objectives of the exercise. Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission in Kaduna, Engineer Bala Almubanye, disclosed this during a town hall meeting with stakeholders in Daura ahead of commencement of the trial census on the 13th of this month. Sani Basiru reports.
The meeting brought together officials of the National Population Commission office in Kaduna, traditional title holders, religious leaders and members of the public. Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission Kaduna, Engineer Bala Almubanye, disclosed that 984 enumerators are engaged to work in the 492 enumeration areas in Daura local government. He added that 97 supervisors are to supervise the conduct of the exercise.
Supervisors have been very well trained and are ready to conduct the exercise. So I have this confidence that this digital census is on course.
Bala Al-Mubanya assured that the house numbering and listing commenced on the 13th July 2022, calling on public to give necessary support to the enumerators to ensure a successful trial census. The meeting attracted questions and answers from the stakeholders who pledged to rally the exercise to success. From Daura, Sani Basiru, NTA News.
Now, for any meaningful developments to be achieved, accurate database is pivotal towards achieving national planning to enhance growth and development of any nation. In view of this, Olajide Bello went out on a fact-finding mission report that 90 enumerators and 5 supervisors have been trained and dispatched to commence a trial census across the 16 local government areas of Kwara State.
The last time Nigeria conducted a national population census was in 2006, and the result of that census put the population of the country at 140.43 million persons, comprising of 71.3 million males and 69.0 million females. Kunle Adebowale attests to the fact that a national population census is long overdue in Nigeria.
More population to feed, more population to house, more population to provide water for, more population to provide education for, and other social amenities.
This took me to the National Population Commission to seek answers to the trial census to be conducted in the designated 9 local government areas out of the 16 local government areas in Kwara State.
All our equipment, including human and materials, these are the things we are putting to test. The logistic requirements, the support of the community. Is it what's relying on? These are the things. The terrain.
The accuracy of the exercise to enhance national planning by the federal government for proper implementation of developmental policies is top priority.
They have gone through trainings and presently they need the materials to work with at the field. The first one is the PDA that contain the herbs that they are going to work with.
It is hoped that the litmus test of the trial census will answer the yearnings of the likes of Kunle Adebowale, who is strongly advocating for a national population census. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Similarly, the National Population Commission has successfully commenced trial census in 9 local government areas of Borno State, selected from the 3 senatorial zones. The exercise was flagged off in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, by the Federal Commissioner of the NPC, Isa Auduburate, who passed a strong message to the field enumerators to operate in line with guidelines of the national program. Abubakar Musa has that.
That was the Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, Borno State, Isa Auduburate, reminding field functionaries who will be conducting the trial census in Biu, Howul, and Chibok local governments of southern Borno on essence of doing the needful, especially avoiding acts that can be inimical to the entire process. Flagging of the exercise in Jere and Mafa local governments, the Federal Commissioner explained that adequate measures, particularly that of security, have already been put in place towards ensuring safety of ad hoc staff for a seamless trial census and called on residents to give maximum cooperation.
I've gone around and I'm impressed with what I've seen. What impresses me so much is the awareness. You can see people, the whole community are mobilized. They definitely will be able to go to Ngazai, Baga, Marte, Ngala. We will all visit all these places to monitor the assessment.
One fascinating aspect that caught the attention of NTA crew was the unwavering determination of Aliu Idris, a university graduate who happened to be one of the enumerators despite his disability. The NPC also inaugurated a GIS laboratory and
to the fullest with regards to the trial census. What is now remaining, however, according to stakeholders, is for other actors to consolidate on the efforts made so far for overall success of the national assignment. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
Let's head to Lokoja now, where the 3 senatorial districts in Kogi State appear ready to be part of the selected local government areas for the trial census across the country. Correspondent Jacob Sani reports that this is coming after an interactive meeting with officials of the National Population Commission ahead of the 2023 exercise.
Ahead of 2023 trial census, relevant stakeholders in Kogi State have been educated on their roles at ensuring fair exercise. Officials of National Population Commission (NPC) in an interactive meeting with the steering committee for the trial census in 3 zones, including Kogi East, Kogi West, and Kogi Central, made observations and suggestions bordering on security. According to them, some communities in the country are not safe for the commission staff to carry out their duties as expected.
No nation can grow without population census. We don't know how many people can count to carry a load. Maybe overloaded, that's better. If it's underloaded, you are weak.
The last census carried out in the country was spotted during the advocacy meeting.
Nobody is going to cheat anybody. Honesty is built into the forthcoming census. And secondly, sufficient effort has been made by National Population Commission to ensure that everybody get counted.
The trial census is expected to commence as scheduled. Jacob Sani, NT News.
Away from the trial census reports now, have you ever thought about the impact of providing a critical part of celebrating Eid al-Kabir to those who cannot afford it? Some group of Muslims have not only thought about that, but put together funds for sacrifice and distributed the meat to hundreds of the less privileged. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Anxiously waiting with all eyes on the butchers preparing tens of slaughtered cows, and they get past amidst then a queue of hundreds of the less privileged. And the queue, Malam Suleiman, he was handed his donation of some kilograms of meat, and without hesitation he heads home. The cooking pot's dry, but the meat he received as donation gives him high hope of putting something on the table for his family to celebrate the Eid Adha.
We are grateful to Allah and pray for the donors.
Steps away, Ayuba is also wearing the same shoes with Malam Suleiman. He is sweet in donation, but also bitter.
I don't have a dime, but the donation made my day.
Coco. Fatima, a mother of 5 and a widow, is all smiles, flaunting her packs of meat.
Very, 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 very grateful.
Grateful could be an understatement for hundreds of those queuing and collecting the pack that put a smile on the faces of many who may have to celebrate Eid with their pots dry.
But alhamdulillah, it has touched so many lives. You can see we've made this of over 500 people that have benefited this year. Same with last year. And alhamdulillah, we're able to make it reach the people that matter most, less privileged in society.
This is the second year the group of concerned Muslims put together fund to drive this initiative. Now hundreds of the less privileged, like Malam Suleiman, Ayuba and Fatima, are going home with something that makes the Eid celebration worthwhile. Abdullahi Mohammed, NT News.
A very beautiful gesture there, I must say. Yeah. Displaced and vulnerable persons in Taraba State are to benefit from assorted food items from the federal government. This was the focus of the flag-off of emergency release of assorted food commodities to the vulnerable held in Jalingo, the capital state of Taraba. Bengaya reports.
The food, which is from the National Strategic Reserve Stock, is to be distributed in the 36 states of Nigeria and the FCT, following approval from President Muhammadu Buhari. The items, including maize, guinea corn, millet, and gari, were symbolically shared to some of the beneficiaries by the Minister of Transportation, Muazu Jaji Sambo, who stood in for his counterpart in the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development.
The well-being of Nigerians has always been
and will continue to be President Buhari's priority. These commodities are approved for distribution free of charge, and therefore it is a criminal offense to sell them.
We wish to thank Mr. President, President Muhammadu Buhari, for giving me fit to give us all this palliative to be distributed for our people.
Coordinator UMCN Orphanage, who spoke on behalf of other beneficiaries, appreciated the federal government, stating that the food items could not have come at a better time.
We sincerely and deeply appreciate you for coming to put smile to our faces and to make our great sense of belongings. You have come to change our stories, to put food on our tables. We say thank you.
A 6-man committee was put in charge of the distribution of the food items to the target groups. In Jalingo, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
Key players in the Osun gubernatorial election agreed to give peace a chance for a credible conduct. Details when News Extra returns. Please stay.
Hello everyone. Hope you people have linked your NIN. Don't be like my son Oshegu, who had to wait for his land to be disconnected.
Yes, so mommy, but I am now reconnected. Yes. I went to Airtel shop, enrolled for my NIN, and re-registered my line. Simple and short, no stress. It didn't end there. Airtel rewarded me with a new bonus of 20,000 naira free airtime and data to access all my social media accounts. If you already have NIN, all you need to do is dial *121# or visit the Airtel website to get linked up. Get on it.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. Wait up, make sense, wait care for me. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. No. Make sure them no go stress you. Call them, then they accessible. Customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try up cost. Profitable investment, everything we just play. Make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Every one of us is affected by the circulation of illicit small arms and light weapons in our communities. Our beloved ones, breadwinners, farmlands and livelihoods are lost. Our homes are lost. Even young children are not left out. These weapons cause pains and sufferings, devastating our societies. It is our collective duty as every Nigerian stakeholder, religious or community leaders, traditional rulers, or civil societies, and at every level of governance to work with security agencies to stop the proliferation of illicit arms. We must shun the trafficking or possession of illicit arms. We must reject any inducement to help in its transportation. We must report all suspected individuals or groups involved in the smuggling or stockpiling of small arms and light weapons or illicit arms to the nearest security agency for prosecution, as our government is very determined to end this menace. Let us come together and work for safe and secure Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons.
Here is a very tough guy who knocks out every opponent, but now he's been knocked down by malaria.
Amatem soft gel.
Amatem soft gel makes treating malaria easy. Amatem soft gel is a game changer.
Amatem soft gel are good to combat malaria for body.
For adults and children. Say no to malaria. Yes to life.
Oga Bayo, Oga come check. Madam, come now. I get what you want.
I will come, I promise. Madam,
Customer,
give me a risk
Risco tomato paste. See, instead, I go give you better imported tomato. Mbano, Otio, Babu. We like saying that people like you, the wicked our country people. You see this Risco, They take correct natural ingredients, make them. If not made in Nigeria, like a Risco tomato paste, get many benefits. It help grow our economy. And plenty food. Nyafo. And when you put them inside mouth, it's sweet. And it dig the one for body.
For this special season, better deal. Buy any Erisco, Richico, or Magico tomato paste and enjoy up to 10% awoof discount. So, start today. Buy Erisco products.
Erisco tomato paste.
The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation announces the conduct of the service-wide IPPIS Human Resources Records Verification Exercise for employees of non-core ministries, departments, and agencies domiciled in states of Northeast Geopolitical Zone from 18th to 29th July 2022. The exercise will be conducted by teams of verifiers from the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation at the following centers. Heads of non-core MDAs in states of Northeast Geopolitical Zone whose employees have duly completed their IPPIS online records update are to ensure that the affected employees are directed to the designated centers or venues for the verification exercise. Respective heads of human resources or administration of the affected parastatals or agencies are to provide teams with their updated staff nominal roles duly endorsed by them. For purpose of clarity and emphasis, this exercise is for federal public servants of parastatals and agencies working in states or zonal offices of Northeast Geopolitical Zone only. It should to be noted that verification by proxy will not be entertained. For more details, check Daily Trust of Thursday 14th July and the Nation's newspaper of 15th July 2022. Please visit www.ohcsf.gov.ng. Dr. Marcus O. Ogumbi, Permanent Secretary, Career Management Office, Announcer.
It's a kind of magic. It's the kind of magic.
Magic. Welcome back. The 15 candidates contesting the Osun governorship seat this Saturday have committed themselves to a violence-free and peaceful election before, during, and after the exercise. They made the commitment in Osogbo, the Osun state capital, while signing a peace accord organized by the National Peace Committee. Femi Afariogun reports.
With the commitment of all the 15 candidates vying for the #1 seat in Osun State, the stage is set for a peaceful and violence-free governorship election come 16th July. Beyond signing, candidates are giving their votes for a peaceful election.
Please, let's ensure we maintain peace. We must jealously guide our being called the most peaceful state in Nigeria.
If it is free and fair election, so be it. And that's what I want.
But we mean every word of the signature, what we are appending our signature with. Don't let us share money.
The National Peace Committee underscored the need to continue to promote positive democratic values in the country's electoral process, including Osun governorship election, and also enjoin the electorate to come out en masse and exercise their civic right.
The amount of violence that has engulfed our nation, for me, is the fundamental threat to our democracy. And those who run the system must demonstrate commitment, capacity to arrest this threat.
INEC will be holding the candidates accountable for any breach of the peace accord.
It is not enough to simply sign the peace accord. What is more important is to abide by its letter and spirit. basically to show commitment.
The parting words for political parties is that all eyes are on Osun. Therefore, violence-free election is sacrosanct for the next governor to emerge. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Imagine spending 100 days in kidnappers' den, and the harrowing experience on its own is nothing anyone should imagine. But when freedom knocks on the door for Hassan Sule, one of the victims of Abuja Kaduna train attack recently released by abductors, there is more to share and appreciate about the story, and Amina Saidu will tell us.
It was a normal train service on one of Nigeria's busiest routes. Many are familiar with the incidents of the unfortunate trip from Abuja to Kaduna. For Dr. Hassan Sule, it was a black day as his dream to reach Kaduna in comfort of the train turned to a nightmare.
We remember vividly that we trekked more than 5 hours into the dark. And then settling on I kind of going to send the light, and we went to a particular place where the guards were the cut off the grasses, and we landed on there till daybreak.
He shares his story.
An unfortunate development, and at the bush there, to be candid, we were not maltreated. To be sincere, we were not maltreated. But however, you have to obey their rules. You know, they have their own ideology. And I know some people actually drill out of their own rules, and they meted their anger.
Dr. Sule says nothing could have been more traumatizing.
And the first 30 days, mosquitoes were actually our guests. I know what mosquito causes. Malaria and the environment, certainly, with the water we are taking there, the kind of food, certainly our body couldn't adjust.
Regaining freedom is priceless.
You will not understand the meaning of freedom when you are taken out of your comfort zone and you are being restricted from your daily routines. That way you know freedom is very, very useful.
Friends and relatives are in a festive mood as they welcome one of their own home.
We come back and meet us alive, and all the family are happy with that.
We are very happy for the support of the government and the public in general.
The release of Dr. Hassan Sule and 6 others rekindle hope for those in captivity. For the families of the 46 others, it is their ardent prayer that they be reunited with their loved ones. In Kaduna, Amina Saidu, NTA News.
Yes, I mean, I all know that regaining freedom is sure priceless. We all know a traditional ruler is closest to the people and knows almost everybody in his domain. No wonder the Nasarawa state government is engaging traditional rulers in the implementation of community policing in order to secure communities in the state. Governor Abdullahi Sule, who hosted them in Lafayette, says traditional rulers have greater role to play in complementing government's efforts in peace building. Aliu Tijani reports.
Security challenges in parts of the country call for collaboration, and traditional rulers in Nasarawa State are in Government House to strengthen partnership towards achieving sustainable peace in the state. With various approaches adopted towards curbing security threats in the state, including engaging vigilante groups, traditional rulers suggest for more funding to the groups to assist in intelligence gathering, while assuring state government of sustained engagement with their subjects to promote peaceful coexistence in their domains. Traditional rulers in the state add their voice to call for constitutional role for traditional rulers.
So we have to sustain it if we want to be able to sustain the security situation and the control in most of those areas. So we thank you sincerely, for your patience.
With relative peace in the state, Governor Abdullahi Sule urges traditional rulers not to lower their guards in peace advocacy, especially in the build-up to 2023 elections. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
The Nigerian Correctional Service affirms that Peter Nwachukwu, husband of the late gospel singer Osun Nwachukwu, remains in custody. In reaction to the news making the rounds that Peter Nwachukwu escaped during last Tuesday jail attack on the Kuje Custodial Center, Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Umar Abakar, in a statement says the report is fake and the inmate is in safe custody. Abakar adds that while pursuing recapture of the fleeing inmates with fervor, the Controller General of Corrections, Haliru Nababa, solicits the support of all Nigerians while reassuring of his unwavering resolve to improve public safety through promoting safe and humane custody of offenders across the country. Meanwhile, Ogun State Police Command has arrested one at the center in Kuje. The Federal Inland Revenue Service says it is time to use the stick on tax defaulters as the period of amnesty is over. Benny Adams reports that the action is taken at the instance of the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme.
His service, in a statement signed by the Executive Chairman Mohammed Nami, who doubles as the Chairman of the Joint Tax Board, explained that taxpayers who have outstanding tax liabilities previously declared under the scheme are encouraged to pay to avoid having the relief granted by the scheme withdrawn. He adds that the post-voluntary assets and income declaration scheme enforcement and prosecution exercise is coming on the heels of data from the National Bureau of Statistics, which show more than 68 million businesses were active in Nigeria, while less than 20 million of these were active taxpayers. Hence, the full-scale enforcement exercise, including prosecution of offenders.
Those who did not take advantage of the VAT amnesty, we will look at the provisions of the law with regard to the assessment of defaulting taxpayers and enforce those laws accordingly.
In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
New petroleum pump price on display. Is it the official price? Nigerians are asking. Stay with us. When News Extra returns, we have details.
The Training Fund, ITF, cordially invites policymakers, technocrats, captains of industry, skills acquisition experts and other stakeholders to the second National Skills Summit with the theme, Institutionalizing Apprenticeship and Traineeship System for National Development. The Honorable Minister, Federal Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, FMITI, Otumba Richard Adeniyi Adebayo, CON, will be the special guest, while the Honorable Minister of State, FMITI, Ambassador Mariam Yalwaji Katagum, and the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Dame Pauline Talem, will be the guests of honor. The Director General and Chief Executive of ITF, Sir Joseph Ari, KSM, KSS, will be the chief host. Speakers at the event are the Chairman of Oil and Gas Free Zone, Dr. Chris Chikoziri Asoluka, International Technical Advisor, Skills for Prosperity, UK, Mr. Mike Dawes and Professor Nkemdele A.U. Nanyelu of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. The summit is scheduled to take place as follows. Date, Thursday, 15 July 2022. Time, 10 a.m.
Yeah, and I don't tell Taylor me meet me for here. You supposed to go hospital make you go do test now. No waste of time, Jerry. I'm afraid. I beg no verse, so no waste of time. You go stand up, make I take your measurement.
Measurements. If you just look the person, you go sew the cloth where you go fit on well.
Now what they do that kind of one?
Now people where don't conclude say they get malaria where they never do test.
I don't hear. Sense, mama. I receive sense, so I go do I'm correct now. Matelo, quick come measure me. Make I quick go do my malaria test.
If an sign of plenty different diseases then, plus including malaria, when you quick do test and a malaria, they go give you correct medicine. Stop the waste your money on top waiting not to worry you and make you finish all the medicine where they give you pata. Now Federal Ministry of Health and American people then bring you now this message.
Fighter from Niger, 60 years of comfort. Quality is fighter, please fighter food. Quality is fighter home for sure. It's fighter, please fighter. Thank you for the joy, memories of comfort.
Vitafoam is proudly Nigerian and constantly support Nigerians with consistent quality products for comfort and well-being. With Vitafoam, you don't just sleep. We give you the comfort that gets you recharged. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
The power, the performance, concentrated power, concentrated performance, the partnership of concentrated power. Salty, the official regional partner of Paris Saint-Germain.
It's Dangote Bag of Goodies Season 3. Yeah. Spell Dangote and become a multi-millionaire. Category 1. Pick up the scratch card in bags of Dangote cement and win instantly. Category 2. Pick up the scratch cards in bags of Dangote cement to spell DANGOTE and qualify to win a #1 million star prize. Category 3. Pick up the scratch cards in bags of Dangote cement to spell DANGOTE and qualify to win #5 million mega star prize. When you pick an alphabet with an eagle, one of the alphabets must carry the Dangote Eagle logo for you to win the mega star prize. Terms and conditions apply.
It's a kind of magic. It's a kind of magic.
Magic. Thanks so much for staying. Some petrol stations in Abuja and its environs are selling fuel to motorists at the price of 185 naira per litre. Now, many people are asking if this price boldly on display is the new pump price of petrol. Lydia Sampson sought clarification.
Motorists say they are at a loss, not sure if the increased pump price on display at some petrol stations is now the official price. Ironically, it is different prices for different fuel stations. Officials and independent petroleum marketers are for now maintaining silence, but motorists are responding differently.
This 184 is not even the issue. Will there be fuel? Because I have to drive I left airport to this place just to buy fuel. Other filling station is still locked. So if this 184 will actually create way for all the other filling stations to have fuel, so it's better because we know it will never go down.
No choice. We are living with no option as well, because we know this as there's fuel scarcity, there will be an increase. So We are tired of black market.
Motorist reports say some petrol stations allegedly dispense the commodity at 250 naira per litre during the Salah holiday, even as fuel scarcity continues to bite, leaving motorists constantly on queues and in search of petrol to go about their daily activities. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the sole importer of petrol into Nigeria, has often assured Nigerians of enough products in store, most times even warning against panic buying. Motorists say they are caught between the assurances of the NNPC Limited and threats from Independent Petroleum Marketers Association. The association complained of supply shocks due to high cost of diesel, with claims that they are operating at a loss. Another angle is the call on the federal government by some independent petroleum marketers to honor outstanding payment of bridging claims for the transportation of petrol. The federal government, through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, had earlier said it paid 74 billion naira. The federal government had increased the bridging cost with 10 naira per litre to cushion the effect of high cost of diesel. With no official statement and all stakeholders maintaining silence, some motorists hope the development will bring about the end of petrol queues in Abuja and across the country. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
The global economic crisis that resulted in an unprecedented increase in the level of inflation around the globe is responsible for the reduction in global growth forecast by the International Monetary Fund from 6.1% to 3.6% for 2022 and 2023. Deputy Governor Economic Policy (CBN) Kingsley Obiora said Nigeria's RT200 policy is designed to give incentive to exporters in the non-oil export sector as a cushion effect to a sustainable economy. Abolade Salami reports.
The global economy lately has been exposed to various external economic forces that has proven somehow too powerful to be subdued, thereby weighing down performance and projected growth estimates. What the outcome of this global shock immediately brings to the table is inflation. Currently, America and the United Kingdom are operating between 9 and 6% inflation figures, which is the highest seen in about 40 years, while Argentina is riding on 70%. Turkey 58%, Ghana 31%, and Africa's largest market, Nigeria, on 17%. Going by these numbers, economic managers say the country is not doing badly.
And so all of this means that central banks all around the world are increasing interest rates. We've seen interest rates rise now by 60 times in the last 90 days, different central banks. And so here in Nigeria, we have also noticed that a lot of people all around the world are responding to this common global problem by looking inwards.
The global crisis that caused fears amongst investors led to the withdrawal of capital to the tune of $800 billion in portfolio and $20 billion in equity flows, leaving emerging markets including Nigeria. As part of measures put in place to sustain economic recovery, the Central Bank of Nigeria, through the RT200 FX program, set to generate $200 billion in foreign exchange from non-oil exports in the next 3 to 5 years.
The African Free Trade Zone, it's a free trade agreement, is a great advantage that we could use in this regard. And I think that if we do that, we could actually begin to tend towards that $200 billion within maybe 2 or 3 years.
The sustenance of a viable economy, economic managers say, is achievable, going by the workable policies initiated by the federal government. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Let's touch a bit on the power sector now. 9 years after the partial privatization of the power sector in Nigeria, performance of the distribution companies remains a subject of discourse among electricity consumers who rate it below average. The recent development where 6 distribution companies had their boards restructured for not meeting their loans obligations and subsequent insolvency reaffirms the views of consumers and the call for the review of the privatization exercise. Joshua Ojito reports.
2013 privatization exercise of the power sector opened a new vista for the electricity market in Nigeria. Hope rises among electricity customers of improved supply and quality service delivery as the defunct Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PHCN, was unbundled and gave birth to 6 legacy generation companies, 11 distribution companies, as well as the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. With this development, generation and distribution arms of the value chain are privately owned, with federal government retaining 40% stake in the companies, while the transmission arm is under the monopoly of the federal government. 9 years after, the story of Nigeria's power sector leaves much to be desired, as power generation and distribution still hover around 5,000 megawatts for a country of more than 200 million people. From lack of gas to vandalism of power infrastructure, weak transmission networks, and lot rejection by the distribution companies, liquidity crisis among others, challenges of power sector in Nigeria seem unsurmountable, with customers bearing the brunt.
The Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005 is there. Then Section 80 and 81 is on consumer protection and licensing performance standards. Those standards are not enforced. The distribution companies are taking advantage of consumers when you look at those standards. The standards that talk about reconnection and disconnection, that talks about billing, for instance, estimated billing.
More worrisome is the latest development in the sector, where financial institutions are taking over management of distribution companies for failure to meet up loan obligations acquired during the privatization exercise. So far, 5 distribution companies have been affected by what the banks refer to as contractual and commercial intervention, while the Port Harcourt Distribution Company had its board restructured also to prevent insolvency.
The discourse needed to be made very responsible, to be able to increase in their capacity. Whoever we found is not playing the way we want to deliver this objective, we have to show him the way. We have to have integrity in the system throughout.
By the time this phase goes away, whoever is going to be the new investor will also have become aware of the real state of the sector.
Although federal government assures that in exercising the rights of lenders to the co-investors, the financial institutions do not retain the ownership of shares and management of the distribution companies. The question is, how viable are the remaining 5 distribution companies? Answers to these and many more will unfold as electricity consumers hope for improved supply under the new regime. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Thank you, Ojito. Now, Nigeria is optimistic about the new turnaround in the ECOWAS administration, hoping that the challenges of increased restiveness, political upheavals in some parts of the region would be addressed and better economic progression realized. In a message to the ECOWAS community, President Muhammadu Buhari believes that the future of the bloc in global affairs is bright in view of the resources and resilience typifying the member nations. Foreign desk correspondent Usman Aliu now reports.
The ECOWAS community is more than 400 million people, and the size has great impact in the world in many fronts. Most importantly, the resources abound in the community, and the challenges of nurturing these resources in the sub-region are another concern in view of what is affecting the community, such as security threat, political tension, and ailing economy. But that notwithstanding, however, Nigeria, which is a major player in the community, is not relenting and therefore championed many reforms for the bloc, which is part of what had been reconstituted here.
I must emphasize that to remain the best performing regional economic community on the continent, the new management must place the interests of the region ahead of other parochial interests and ensure that all your actions are geared towards enhancing the performance of ECOWAS institutions and making the organization fit for purpose.
Nigeria championed this reform. Mr. President and the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, as well as other sectoral ministers, work assiduously to ensure that we have this new reform at ECOWAS. And by the end of the day, it is going to be, as I said, community-based, whereby the people of the community will now feel more impact of ECOWAS itself, whereby we will be having direct interventions when it comes to, let's say, education, health, infrastructure, agriculture. So the organization is going to focus more on carrying out sectoral interventions.
With the lifting of economic sanctions on Mali, progress on negotiations in Burkina Faso and Guinea, ECOWAS is returning her glory in democracy and sustainable leadership. Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Here's a question now. Are you aware that driving a car with faded number plate is punishable under the Nigerian law? That is surprising, right? Well, let's hear more from Oyeyemi Ajayi, who had an encounter with the officers of the Directorate of Road Services Vehicle Inspection Office.
Heading for work just like every other day. As an assistant producer of NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria, I have to be at the daily production meeting alongside my bosses to plan the program for the next day. On my way, I was flagged down by the officials of the Vehicle Inspection Office, VIO. Driver's license, checked. Vehicle particulars, checked. I felt unperturbed. To my surprise, he queried why I'm driving a car with a faded plate number. I became confused. I was booked and asked to pay a fine of 5,000 naira. I asked myself, when did it become an offense, warranting an arrest for a faded number plate which I got from the Federal Safety Corps?
It's been active. It's been active for a while. Once a license plate is no more visible for maybe the enforcers beyond 46 meters, then there is need for such motorists to seek replacement.
I went to the office of the FRSC to complain about my faded number plate, which I procured not too long ago, to inquire if it was fake.
What we have observed is that car wash attendants are the ones mainly damaging the plates by the use of some abrasive like thinners and the rest. And also the weather situation in some part of the country equally contributes. But like I said, after every 6 years, we are supposed to renew our number plate by applying.
Well, I realized I'm not the only one who had the experience, as many also relate their experiences.
It's just like some few hours that I get to know about it. And they have to sensitize the public about it.
Well, as many have said, there is the need for more sensitization, especially on care for number plates, and the fact that driving with faded number plates is an offense punishable with fine in the FCT. Well, I have learned my lesson. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
You learnt it the hard way, Oyeyemi. Still on number plates, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, had banned the use of police spy vehicle number plates by vehicle owners and the revocation of the existing ones. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, says the ban is to forestall the continuous disregard for traffic rules and regulations and other extant laws guiding road use by individuals hiding under the privileges of police spy number plates. The IGP equally directed police personnel and other security agencies attached to VIPs who use spy number plates to comply with the directive or risk being arrested for violation of the order. Meanwhile, the IGP orders commissioners of police in the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, as well as the supervisory assistant inspector generals of police, to give full effect to the directives and ensure that all spy number plates currently in use are confiscated. And the Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Boboe Oyemi, has commended the bold step by the Inspector General of Police. In a statement, Oyemi has directed commanding officers of the Corps across the nation to join hands with the police to enforce the order. He noted that road users who also parade faded number plates should endeavor to replace them with new ones to avoid their vehicles being impounded. Oyemi further ordered full force and immediate impoundment of private vehicles that are using commercial number plates, as well as commercial vehicles using private number plates, respectively. He reiterated the implications of the continued use of faded and other unauthorized vehicle number plates to national security. Away from that now, eroded value system and lack of accountability remains the bane of anti-corruption war in Nigeria. This view was reiterated by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program while taking a look at collective actions against corruption in Nigeria. Joseph Rusting has the details.
The question is, why is almost everyone blaming much of developmental challenges in Nigeria to corruption? Yet corruption persists and continues to fight its way through every strata. For these guests on Good Morning Nigeria, the Nigerian society has for long been witnessing a shift from past acceptable norms and values, where excellence and credibility were rewarded, to celebration of unaccountable wealth and rise to the top, which has now paved way to what is described as normalization of corruption across board.
As long as we judge the value of human being by the amount of money that person possesses, we will continue in this direction that we have chosen for ourselves.
The parents, because sometimes implicitly or explicitly they support their children into activities that are nefarious. That's a big problem.
On why anti-graft agencies have struggled to prosecute many corrupt cases, the guests believe that loyalty to corrupt benefactors cripples the law enforcers.
Somebody who wants to occupy an office has to spend through their noses to get to the office. Then tell me how they will go and perform.
We must be nationalistic in the way we grant pardon. There are two things under that provision. There is commutation, in which somebody is sentenced, you commute it to a shorter one. That is a prerogative of mercy. Pardon means that offense never occurred. I think it would be responsible to say, of an offense that again conviction never occurred.
To nip corruption in the board, the guests suggest healthy competition for power, self-discipline, transparency and accountability, as well as timely punishment for defaulters as deterrent to others. In Abuja, Joseph Osun, NTA News.
Resurgence of COVID-19, NCDC data shows rising cases. How sustainable is the vaccination exercise? Details shortly.
How did I get here? It all started shortly after I graduated from MSTC, the Model Skills Training Center, with a certificate in ICT. I successfully developed a data management program that has been called the software of the future. Thanks to its success, everyone wants it, and as you can see, now everyone wants me. But I'm not alone. The skills training programs at MSTC are equipping young Nigerians to become the next big success story. Whether it's ICT, mechatronics, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, or culinary studies, a certificate at MSTC is the way of the future. And just like me, there he is. Everyone will want you to.
Developing the nation's human resource. Are you aware that your perfect family may be under threat by germs? Germs can cause infectious disease. These infectious diseases are amongst the biggest killers of adults and children. Illness-causing germs are everywhere. In unclean bathing water, on your clothes, dirty surfaces, on cuts and wounds. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 capful. In your bathing water, in your laundry, for surface cleaning, for first aid, and to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Use Dettol Shore. Man has always wanted a unique, rich herbal extract made for the capable man. And when found, one One wonders what makes it special. First, take a look at the cap, then the bottle. Glamorously endowed with a new label in an elegant shape, it stands out as the bitters with class. And because you love to share with friends, so you ask for a bottle of Confirm Bitters. That is why they call it Mr. Capable Confirm Bitters. Now in a bold new look of 75 cl and 37.5 cl bottles for your enjoyment. The taste remains the same. Mr. Capable Confirm Bitters. Truly herbal.
Are you an entrepreneur? Are you involved in farming, manufacturing, servicing and other specialized value chain creation in non-oil export commodities? The Organization of Youths in International Trade and Commerce OIITC in partnership with NTA Television Enterprises Limited is organizing a Made in Nigeria trade show and exhibition in Texas, United States tagged Houston 22. Houston 22 is designed to promote creativity and productivity of Nigerian youths and women entrepreneurs, enhance economic empowerment and attract foreign direct investment into Nigeria. It is scheduled to hold from 25th to 30th of July 2022 at the prestigious Expo Event Center, Houston, Texas by 9 a.m. daily. For registration, advert placement and sponsorship, please contact Nafisat on 0803-331-0992 and Chingwe on 0905-596-1514.
Chinedu on +1346-529-5236.
Chioma on +1281-965.
You're welcome back to News Extra. Advocacy for a cause comes in various forms. This one we're about to tell you came in real style, as the cause is a very serious one. And the Kano State government is also not taking the subject matter lightly. That is why it has promised to remain committed to the fight against polio and other tropical diseases through funding and increased advocacy. Secretary to the state government, Usman Alhaji, announced this when a team of biker polio advocates rode from Lagos to Kano. Abdullahi Mustafa was there.
The team of advocates was led to the Kano Government House by Kunle Adeyanju, a Nigerian who recently rode his motorbike from London in the United Kingdom to Lagos, Nigeria. This was to draw global attention to the need for continuous advocacy and increased funding towards preventing further spread of polio virus. He and other bikers came to Kano to acknowledge the efforts being made by the state government in the fight and to advocate for more to prevent its resurgence, considering the challenges faced in the course of its eradication.
As much as the virus is existing anywhere in the world, it will get to us because people travel, wind blow. The virus will come, just like COVID. We didn't have COVID, it didn't start from here, but we got it.
They were received by Secretary to the State Government Usman Alhaji, who briefed them on what the Ganduje administration did and is doing in the fight against the viral disease.
There was large mobilization in all the sectors of our society. The traditional institutions, the traditional rulers were brought in very strongly. In fact, I think the chairman of the immunization is a traditional ruler.
He assured that although Kano do not have a single case of polio, government will not relent in providing the needed resources to mitigate its resurgence. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And with appreciable decline in cases of COVID-19 infections in the country, Nigerians started enjoying life away from the popular new normal, a term that emanated to suit living with the pandemic. As many enjoy this freedom, caution is the watchword here, with recent data by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control indicating resurgence of the virus. Hingino John Adams tells us all about it.
The coronavirus pandemic came in waves characterized by various mutations globally. This almost brought the world to its knees. Nigeria also had a bitter experience which was felt in all sectors.
My mom and dad had to stay at home, so things that we normally enjoy are no longer there.
We haven't even get paid at all for that 8 months, though we stayed at home.
And we had to take online lectures, and the online lecture was not really effective as the physical lecture, so we had to quit, then wait for like almost a year before we resumed back.
After the fourth wave of the pandemic in the country, Nigerians enjoyed a long period of recording very few cases. Some believed the country was out of the woods, thereby throwing caution to the wind.
To me, if it is at all in this country, it's minimal. The hand washing and other things, they should try to keep it up.
It seems the virus is taking advantage of some people's nonchalant attitude, as recent data released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control reveals that Lagos State recorded more than 200 cases in just few days.
Eternal vigilance is the price everybody pays for freedom. So for us to be free of any harm, any evil like that, we must be eternally vigilant, which we are, which our authorities are doing.
The earlier we understand that COVID is out there and it's not going to go away by wishful thinking. It is better just to prepare ourselves against it and get vaccinated.
Since it is obvious the virus is here to stay, medical experts say observing non-pharmaceutical measures and vaccination will help in reducing cases of new infections. In Lagos, Hinginu John Adams, NTA News.
There is a resounding question over what is now normal under an era of new normal occasioned by COVID-19 as concerns rise over lagging public attitude to public health issues. This becomes increasingly worrisome following lingering COVID-19 infections in Nigeria and the rather low national vaccination rate. Uche Ogochukwu visited Bauchi State and examines the role of the primary healthcare system in Nigeria's current drive to boost COVID-19 vaccination.
These days, it is not very common to see a 68-year-old such as Narisa Daura, full of life and comfortably running a business. At that age, senior citizens are susceptible to age-related ailments. This era of COVID-19 makes it worse for older persons when it comes to balancing work and managing their health while staying safe. Narisa has for decades been battling with hypertension and diabetes. These ailments are among some of the predisposing factors to COVID-19 complications. Strong and bubbling she may look here, but in her new normal, she is cautious of where she goes and what she does. This is because if she contracts COVID, the end result may be near death or even death.
I do exercise every day. Wherever I'm going, with my hand sanitizer and my face mask. I always go around with my hand sanitizer, even in the church.
A good number of people in Bauchi State seem oblivious of the existence of COVID-19 as they carry on with life. Though Nigeria's response to COVID-19 has been generally lauded, consolidating on the success requires, first and foremost, a public safety and precautionary culture to safeguard against infection and then prioritize vaccination.
Different misconceptions, that's why they don't used to come. But before, with the sensitization that we used to go, really people that they have started accepting it now than before.
We actively reactivate in an active mode our risk communication to get very close to the community. But the Bauchi State in generally are fairly well through the state primary healthcare in terms of immunizations.
Bauchi State has 415 facilities attending to COVID cases. So far, 12% of the target population have taken their first dose, up from 3% in 2021. A lot is riding on meeting set targets, meaning that all hands are on the deck.
We decided to go by leadership by example, because you cannot tell somebody go and take corona vaccine, and if he asks you where is your own card, what will you tell him? So that became a challenge that led members of the committee to work on themselves first.
We have this year, we want first health sector operation plan. Anybody coming as a partner to Bauchi State will be in that plan. How much and what work are you going to carry out? So there's no quarrel. no duplication of activity in any way in Bauchi State. If you are doing it, somebody else will do another thing.
The next line of action would involve logistics of vaccinators and coverage of hard-to-reach areas. The plan is to remove those hurdles that constitute challenges to the success of improving and sustaining COVID-19 vaccination in Nigeria. I am Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Thank you, Uche. China and Nigeria are set to broaden their horizon in the area of media cooperation. The cultural counselor of the Chinese embassy.
Cooperation is one of the benefits of the ties which led to the establishment of NTA Star TV network in Nigeria. Today, the NTA Star Times platform has become a force to reckon with in digital broadcasting in the country. The Cultural Council of Chinese Embassy in Nigeria, Li Juda, said the Chinese content produced in Hausa language being broadcast as a Chinese TV series on NTA Hausa is yielding positive results.
After the TV network showed this Chinese drama, so many Nigerian people know more about China and its new development in the new era. And they also know the arduous process of the eradicating poverty. And they comment the Chinese government lifted so many Chinese people out of poverty.
The dubbed program series such as Kasata, Tansanda the Bindiga, which is currently aired on NTA Hausa channel 165 of the Star Times platform, such, he said, will soon be produced in the remaining Nigerian major languages. Adebola, Brooks Lane, NTA News.
Interesting. Sports report is next when News Extra returns.
It's fuel that fires up our soul. Today, African music has a dominant place on the world map. This massive music movement creating waves across the globe.
I have seen the evolution and the growth of this industry.
But every movement starts with a story, and the best place to start any story is at the very beginning.
There's a phenomenal energy that can only have come from Africa.
Your PVC ready. Conduct yourselves orderly. Join the queue. Cast your vote secretly. Thumbprint correctly. Do not waste your vote. Do not sell your vote. Secure your future. If you sell your vote, you have sold good roads, electricity, water, education, good health care, etc. Be part of nation building. Cast your vote for honest candidates. Shun electoral violence. You could lose your life for nothing, for nothing, for nothing. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Let's do sports now with Kenneth Imabdike.
94 athletes and 21 technical officials formed Nigeria's contingent to the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, where the team will compete in 9 sports including athletics, boxing, judo, para-athletics, para-table tennis, para-powerlifting, table tennis, weightlifting and wrestling. Close camping are in progress in Abuja, Lagos and Bayelsa, running up until Team Nigeria's staggered departures to Birmingham from July 22.
The Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Chief Sunday Daura, has urged the athletes to concentrate in their training and preparations, avoid the use of performance-enhancing substances, and put up a high level of discipline in order to project a positive image of Nigeria at the Games.
The velodrome of Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, is set to host the second Africa Track Cycling Championships, slated for July 14 to 17. Cyclists from 13 countries are on ground to compete in 11 categories as the Confederation of Africa Cycling continues to look inwards for ways of integrating the sport on the continent.
Nigeria participated in all the disciplines, like road cycling. The Nigeria, it means one of the most important countries in Africa for cycling. Nigeria now high level team, high level federation very good development. I appreciate all the activities they are doing now.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's Golden Arrows failed to shine at the 25th Africa Men's Senior Handball Championship in Cairo after losing 29 to 35 goals to Cavert Tuesday to record their second consecutive loss. The result means Nigeria would not qualify for the quarterfinals of the championship as they head for the classification matches. The Golden Arrows are also out of reckoning for qualification to the World Championship in Poland and Sweden next year. That's Sports Update. I am Kenan Ima Abodike, NTA News.
From sports, let's look at the weather update for tomorrow, Thursday.
Hello, I'm Theodorite, and this is the weather forecast for Thursday. There's still favorable moisture in the atmosphere, and this should keep most parts of the country active during the morning hours. As thunderstorms are expected over the northeast, talking about Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Taraba, Bauchi, Jigawa, Kano, and Katsina states, coming down to parts of Plateau, Nasarawa, Benue, Kogi, and the Federal Capital Territory. The same atmospheric conditions holds as the day progresses, with better prospects of thunderstorms accompanied with strong winds over the north and central region of the country, while rainfalls are expected over the southern parts of the country. That's our bit from here. Thank you for watching.
Well, with weather update, we conclude News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of it. But before we go, remember to join NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. I am Fatima Umar Buba. Stay blessed.